Alright guys, so today we are dealing with the 2026 test 1 Benco. We're looking at the section 2 today. Alright. Section 2 we have our 2 marks and 3 marks questions with the problems. Alright, so let's begin. From a box holding 369 mangoes, Kyle sold 33 1/3% and gave the remainder to Amy. How many mangoes did Amy receive? So we're looking at this question from the start again. So we have now a total of 369 mangoes. We know Kyle sold 33 1/3% and he gave the remainder to Amy, and I want to know how much Amy received. So we need to find out the remainder to find out for Amy, because we know the remainder and Amy is the same. So to begin with, we have 33 1/3%. It will be easy to work with this 33 1/3% as a fraction. So we all know that 33 1/3% as a fraction is 1/3. First thing we need to find out is the number of mangoes that were sold. So to find out the number of mangoes that were sold, we know it's 33% of the total, which is 1/3 of the total, which is 369 over 1. So the number of mangoes which is sold would be 123 mangoes. They said now from here that he gave the remainder to Amy. So we know the remainder and Amy's amount are the same. Alright? So to find out now how much was Amy's amount, we know if it's the remainder, when something is remaining, to find out the remainder we take away. Alright, we'll subtract. So 369 subtract 123, and this will leave us with 246. Alright, 246. Simple, the marking scheme, I could probably show you all the marking scheme one time. Alright, just in case you all are working on this at home. Alright, so you'll get 1 mark for finding out the amount sold, and you'll get 1 mark for finding out Amy's amount. Alright, number 22. 5/12 of a number is 60. Alright, what is 0.25 of the number? So always remember, so we're looking at this here, we know 5/12 of a number of some number is equal to 60. So this is basically saying we know 5/12 is equal to 60. So we know a fraction and the quantity that it is equal to. First we need to find out what the number is, so which is basically the total. Alright, whenever we know a fraction and the quantity that it is equal to, all we need to do to calculate the total, it would be the quantity given multiplied by the invert of the fraction, which is 12 over 5. So you know 5 going to 5 one time, 5 going to 60 12 times, 12 by 12 is 144. So the number now is 144. Now I want to know what is 0.25 of that number. Very simple, 0.25 of the number would be 0.25 multiplied by 144. If you're not confident with multiplying decimals, you can even change the 0.25 into a fraction. And we know 0.25 is a quarter, so you can find a quarter of 144. Alright, and that will give us 36. I'll do the method with the multiplication of decimals for you all. So let's say we have the 144 multiplied by 0.25. Alright, very simple. So we multiply in here. 4 by 5 is 20. 4 by 5 is 20, add 2 is 22. 1 by 5 is 5, add 2 is 7. 4 by 2 is 8. 4 by 2 is 8. 1 by 2 is 2. Then we move on to multiply by 0. So anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Alright, so we know it will be 0. Now we add, we can fill out these spaces with zeros. 0, 8 add 2 is 10. 7 add 8 is 15, add 1 is 16. And 2 add 0 is 2, add 1 is 3. Now we count how many times the decimal place moved. So it moved 1, 2 times here. It did not move any time here, so we always start on the right hand side. We count 1, 2. So we place it here. So that's how we get our 36. Alright, 2 marks. 1 mark for calculating what the number is, and 1 mark for getting the 36. Number 23, they said 5 multiplied by some number, add 10 is equal to 10 squared. So we know now that equal sign there means that whatever is on the right hand side is the same as whatever is on the left hand side. So both sides are equal, right? So looking at this here now, we need to find out what is 10 squared. So 10 squared is equal to 10 multiplied by 10, which is equal to 100. So we know that 5 multiplied by some number, add 10, will give us 100. So let's move around here now and figure out some values. So let's move across all the numbers on one side here. So we have the 5 multiplied by 10 is equal to 100, take away 10, which is equal to 90. So you know 5 by whatever number is equal to 90. So to find out for the box now, it would be carrying across this 5 here. So it would be 90 divided by 5, which is equal to 18. Alright, simple 2 marks. You got 1 mark for solving for the unknown value, and you got 1 mark for 10 squared. Alright, number 24. Shown below are 2 stalls selling oranges, stall A and stall B. We have George wants to purchase 48 oranges. Which is the better buy? So we want to know which one is the better buy. To determine which is the better buy, we would say which one is selling at a cheaper price. Alright, so a better buy, cheaper price, right? So looking at it here now, we want to calculate for 48. Alright, there are 2 ways we could do this. You could find for the cost of 1 orange per vendor, or you could find out for the cost of 48 per vendor. Alright, so what I will do, I will calculate the cost of 1 to determine which one is cheaper. Alright, so stall A, we know that 4 oranges is equal to $5. So to calculate the cost of 1 orange, it will be the $5 divided by 4. And 5 divided by 4, let's work it out here just in case anyone doesn't remember how to divide. So 5 divided by 4. You could say 4 could go into 5 one time. 1 by 4 is 4. 5 take away 4 is 1. We have a remainder. So work out this now, and to find out our decimals, we could say 4 cannot go into 1, right? So therefore we put a point and add a 0 to form a new number. So 4 could go into 10. 2 times 2 by 4 is 8. 10 take away 8 is 2. We already have a decimal point added here. So once we have a decimal point added in the quotient, we can add any number of zeros coming down. Alright, so now we add the next 0 to work out the figure. So we can say 4 could go into 20 5 times. 5 by 4 is 20. And subtract, we have no more remainders, so we know we have completed. So we know this is $1.25. So the cost for 1 orange is $1.25. Let's check with stall B. Stall B now is selling 8 oranges for $14. So for 1 orange, it will be 14 divided by 8. And we do the same thing again. 14 divided by 8. 14 divided by 8. 8 could go into 14. 1 8 is 8, 2 is 16. So it could go one time. 1 by 8 is 8. 14 take away 8 is 6. 8 cannot go into 6. So we add our decimal point and we add a 0 here now. 8 could go into 6. 8 could go into 67 times. Alright, that's 56. 60 take away 56, leaving a remainder of 4. 8 cannot go into 4. We already have a decimal point in the quotient, so we can just add a 0 here. So 8 into 40 is 5. Alright, 8 by 5 is 40. Very good. Subtract. Alright, so that will leave us with $1.75. So they want to know which one would be the better buy. So we know one orange install A is $1.25 and one orange install B is $1.75. So the better buy would be the stall A. Alright, because it is cheaper. So the marks would go, we go 1 mark for your working to find out which one is cheaper, and 1 mark for the correct answer. Number 25. Alright, number 25. Kevin picked plums over the weekend. He picked a total of 65 plums on Saturday. On Sunday, he picked 1 1/5 more than he did on Sunday. Alright. On Sunday, he picked 1 1/5 more than he did on Saturday. The total number of plums picked over the weekend represents 33.2% of the total plums picked over the weekend. How many plums did he pick over the weekend? So good, a lot of information here now. We need to just dissect it and do it part by part. So we're looking at the question here now. They said Kevin picked plums over the weekend. They said he picked a total of 65 plums on Saturday. So a total of 65 plums was representing Saturday. They said on Sunday he picked 1 1/5 more than he did on Saturday. Alright, so we need to find out what is Sunday, which is 1 1/5 of the Saturday's amount. So let's figure that here. So Sunday would be 1 1/5 of the 65 over 1. And to multiply mixed numbers, first we change our mixed number to improper fraction. So we say 1 by 5 is 5, add 1 is 6 over 5, multiply by 65 over 1. And this will give us 78 plums. So we know on Saturday he picked 78 plums. So we worked out for Sunday. For Sunday he picked 78 plums. Alright. They said the total number of plums picked over the weekend represent 33.2% of the total plums picked. So first we need to calculate what the total number of plums picked for the weekend was. So to calculate the total, it would be 65 add 78, and that will give us 143 plums over the weekend. So total weekend, which would be 143 plums. We know now that they said that this 143 plums was representing 33.3% of the total plums for the weekdays. So we know that 33 1/3% is equal to this 143. We also know that 33 1/3% is 1/3. So this is here 1/3 is equal to 143. Now to find out, I wanted to calculate now how many plums were picked on the weekdays. So we know the fraction and the quantity it is equal to. So to find the total, we take the quantity and multiply it by the invert of the fraction, which will be 3 over 1. So we get 143 multiplied by 3, and this will give us 429. So 429 plums were picked over that period. One mark, one mark, one mark. Number 26, we have Darren shared 200 and alright, so we have here Darren shared 260 lollipops among his 4 friends so that each received equal portions. 2 of the friends joined their share together and made equal heaps of 2 and 3. How many lollipops were used to make heaps of 3? So first we need to find out. They said Darren shared this total among 4 friends and each one of them got the equal amounts. So we need to find out how much each friend received. So we know that will be the total, which is 260 divided by 4, which will give us 65. So each one of them received 65. From this information, I would have said 2 of the friends joined their total. So we need to calculate the total to be shared. So if they join their figures together, it would be 65, add 65, and that will give us 130. So you know we're dealing with 130 now to be shared, alright, among heaps. So we know we have them in heaps of 2, and we have them in heaps of 3. So the total in one set would be the 2 plus the 3, which is equal to 5. So you know you're using a total of 5 to make the heaps. Alright. Now we want to find out how many heaps we could get from this 130. So it will be the 130 divided by 5, because if you want to find out how many groups of something you can get in another, the operation is to divide. So 130 divided by 5, and that should give us 26. So what this 26 means now, you have heaps of 2, and you have 26 of those, and you have heaps of 3, and we have 26 of those. So 26 heaps of 2 and 26 heaps of 3. They want to know now how many lollipops were used to make the heaps of 3. So heaps of 3 would be, we have 26 groups. Heaps multiplied by how much in one heap of 3, which is 3. So 26 multiplied by 3, and that will give us 78. So we needed to use 78 lollipops to make 26 groups of 3. Alright, and the marking scheme would be 1, 2, 3. Alright. Moving on now to number 27. Number 27 states the sum of the numbers on each side horizontally and diagonally along the lines is 1.6. So that means when you add up this side, you get 1.6. When you add up the numbers on this side, you get 1.6. When you add up the numbers on this side, you get 1.6. Alright, simple. So let's solve for the unknown values. Alright, so I would start with this idea, because they gave us 2 values, which is 0.3 and the 0.5. Alright, you could even start on the base here. So we know the total is 1.6. So 1.6, take away the sum of the known values here, which is 0.3 at 0.5. And that will give us 1.6 take away 0.8, which is 0.8. So we know this one is 0.8. Now we know these 2 values here, And we know that when you add all three, you get 1.6. So to solve for this one here, the same thing, 1.6, take away the sum of the known values, which is 0.4, add 0.5. So which is 1.6 take away 0.9, which is equal to 0.7. So we know this part here is 0.7. Now we want to work out now. So we know here is 0.8, 0.7. We know two sides, well, two values, and we know the sum of this side is 1.6 again. So to work out for this here, 1.6 take away the sum of the known sides, which is 0.7, add 0.3. So 1.6 take away 0.7 add 0.3, which is equal to 0.6. Alright, 0.6. Alright, so you get 1 mark each. 1 and 1. Alright. Number 28, Joshua has 4 boxes, each holding 129 balls. He packed the balls in bags, each holding 13 balls. How many more balls will he need to fill the last bag? Alright, good. So we know, just to read through the question one more time. Joshua has 4 boxes, each holding 129 balls. He packed the balls in bags, each holding 13 balls. How many more balls will he need to fill the last bag? So, looking at this here now, we know it's 4 boxes, each with 129 balls. So we don't know the total, so we can find out the total first. So the total would be the number of balls in one box multiplied by the number of boxes, which is 4. So that will give us 516. So we know you have a total of 516 balls. They said now he packed the balls in bags, each holding 13. So from this total of 516, he took out and put in 13 in bags, right? So good. So what we want to calculate now is the number of bags. So it would be the 516 divided by 13. And that will give us 39 with a remainder of 9 balls. So that means he have 13 complete bags, and on this other bag he have 9 balls in it, not a complete bag of 13. They want to know how many more balls will he need to fill the bag. So to find out how much more, it would be, we know one bag has 13. Take out the amount that it have in one bag right now, which is 9, and 13 take out 9 was 4. So you need 4 balls to complete the bag. Alright, 1 mark each. Moving on now to number 29. Ashley started exercising at the time shown on clock E and ended at the time shown on clock B. She took a 15-minute break during this time. How long did she spend actually exercising? So basically we just need to calculate the length of time from A to P, and it's easier to work with digital notation. If you want, you can even count it out here, alright, on the analog clock. So I will work it out in digital form. So this we know minute hand by 10 and the hour hand by 5. So we know this is 10 minutes past 5. And we know the minute hand is by 1 and the hour hand is by 6. So we know that is 6:05, 5 minutes past 6. Alright, so to calculate the length of time from 5:10 to 6:05, we know that is 55 minutes. They said that she took a 15-minute break, and I want to know the time she actually worked out, right? So all we need to do is to take the 55 minutes and take away the 15 minutes break, and that will leave us with 40 minutes. So she spent 40 minutes actually exercising. Alright, 2 marks, 1 mark for calculating total length of time and 1 mark for calculating the correct time she spent actually exercising. Number 30, calculate the perimeter of the shaped shown. Perimeter we know is the distance around the shape. And we know now we have this irregular shape here where we have some missing values or missing sides. So we know here is missing and also here is missing. So what I would do, I need to calculate the unknown sides. So let's look at X. Line X is a horizontal line. So if it is a horizontal line, the only values that I am looking at are the horizontal values, which is this 15 here and this 28 here. Horizontal line going across, so I only look at the horizontal values, horizontal lines. Alright. So to find X now, we know that X is this little piece here. So if you join up this X to this piece here, we know the distance from the length from here to here, we know is 28. And we know that this piece from here to here is 15. So this little remainder here would be the amount that we need to add up to make this 28. So we could say 28 take away 15, and that will give us 13 centimeters. So we know the value of X is 13 centimeters. Now we're looking at Y. Y, we know, is a vertical line. So we only look at the vertical values. Alright, Y is a vertical line. So we look at the vertical values, which is 20 and 3. Again, you're thinking about if you bring up this line here to join up here. This line from here straight to here, we know is 20, this whole thing. So if from here to here is 3, this little remainder here we could find out the remainder to make the 20. So Y would be 20 centimeters. Take away the 3 centimeters, which is equal to 17 centimeters. So now we worked out the length of the unknown sides. We know one is 13 and one is 17. Now we need to calculate the perimeter. You know, perimeter is the distance around, so we just add. I normally add in a clockwise direction, starting from the top, so I won't miss out values. So that's 13, add 17, add 15, add 3, add 28, add 20. When we add up all those together, we get 96 centimeters. So you'll get 1 mark for solving the unknown values. Got 1 mark for calculating the perimeter. Alright, moving on now to number 31. Number 31 states, Justin borrowed $20,000 from a bank at a rate of 10% for 2 years. He repaid the bank in monthly payments. How much money did he pay each month? So good. So before we could calculate anything, we need to calculate the simple interest. And we know simple interest is equal to the principal by the rate by the time, all over 100. We know the principal amount was 20,000 multiplied by the rate, which was 10%, multiplied by the time, which is 2 years, all over 100. Cancel these two zeros, cancel these two zeros. So this becomes 10 by 2 is 20, 200 by 20, which is give us 4,000. So we know you have an interest amount of $4,000 to pay. Now we need to calculate the total to repay. And to calculate the total to repay, we add the principal and the simple interest. So the principal amount was 20,000. Add the interest amount, which is 4,000. And that will give us 24,000. So you had to repay this 24,000 in 2 years. But I want to know how much you had to pay in each month. So we know 2 years is equal to 24 months. So after 24 months, he had to pay back $24,000. So to calculate for 1 month, that will be the 24,000 divided by 24, which is equal to $1,000. So each month he was paying back $1,000. Alright, 3 marks. You got one for the simple interest, one for the total to repay, and one for the monthly payments. Number 32. Travis started to paint the wall shown at 8:30 a.m. He takes 3 minutes to paint 5 meters square. At what time will he finish painting the wall? So if you're painting, that means it is the surface covered. And if it's the surface covered, we know that is area. Alright? So therefore, we need to calculate the area of this wall. And we know it's a rectangular wall based on the dimensions. So area of wall would be the length multiplied by the width, which is 25 meters multiplied by 15 meters, and that will give us 375 meters squared. They said he takes 3 minutes to paint 5 meters square or square meters. So we need to find out how many sets of 5 we could get from the total area. So that will be 375 meters squared divided by the 5 meters squared, and that will give us 75 sets. One set takes him 3 minutes. One set of 5 takes him 3 minutes, and we have 75 sets. So the time taken will be the 75 sets multiplied by the length of time for one set, which is 3 minutes, and that will give us 225 minutes. So when you divide now, we're converting this to hours and minutes. So 225 minutes divided by 60, that should give us 3 hours and 45 minutes. So it took him a length of time of 3 hours and 45 minutes to complete this here. Alright? So with this 3 hours and 45 minutes now, we need to calculate this at what time did he finish. So he starts at 8:30. So the finish time would be the 8:30 a.m. at 3 hours. And 8:30 a.m. at 3 hours would give us 11:30 a.m. And then we have the 45 minutes to add on here. So 11:30 a.m. plus 30 minutes will give us our nearest whole hour, which is 12 p.m. and we still have a 15 minutes to add on. So 12 p.m. at 15 minutes would give us 12:15 p.m. Alright, so we finish at 12:15 p.m. Alright, so you get 1 mark for correct time finished, length of time taken, and 1 for the area of the wall. Number 32, they said complete the shape on the grid below using line XY as a line of symmetry and name the polygon formed. Alright, so we know line of symmetry, we need to complete this. Let's see how best I can draw this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we have 1, 2, 3 going down. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then we need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 across. Good. So we complete our shape there. So we need to state the name of the polygon. So we count it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 six-sided polygon, hexagon. Alright, 1 mark for completing, 1 mark for name. They said write one similarity and one difference between a rectangle and a square. So a similarity could be, they said write one. So a similarity could be they are both quadrilaterals. Or it could be to have both have two pairs of parallel lines. That could be an similarity. A difference could be a square has four lines of symmetry. And a rectangle has only two lines of symmetry. Alright, so you get one mark. You can see it also that squares are a regular polygon and a rectangle is an irregular polygon. There's a difference. Alright, so moving on now to number 35. This is the incomplete block. Alright, number 35, the incomplete block graph shows the number of goals scored in 3 matches. This had Pool scored 10 goals in the first match. So in the first match we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. And these 5 blocks equals the 10 goals. Alright, they said what is the total number of goals he scored in the 3 matches. So in all 3. Alright. So we know if the 5 blocks represent 10 goals, one block will be 10 divided by 5, which is equal to 2 goals. So to calculate now the total number of goals in the 3 matches, we add up all. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 16 blocks multiplied by how much one block represents, which is 2. So 16 by 2 is 32. So he scored a total of 32 goals. We got 1 mark for the 32 goals, 1 mark to find out how much one represents. Number 36. The table below shows the number of questions 4 people got correct in an exam. The exam had a total of 20 questions. What is the average number of questions that the students got incorrect? So this shows how much they got correct, and I want to know how much is incorrect. They have a total of 20 questions. So based on this here now, we find out how much each one of them got incorrect. So Mary will be 20, take away 16, which is equal to 4 she got incorrect. Maya will be 20, take away 17, which is equal to 3 incorrect. Alright, next we have Anna, which is equal to 20, take away 15, which is equal to 5 incorrect. And then we have Emily, which is 20, take away 16, which is 4 incorrect. Alright, now we need to calculate the average for the number of incorrect questions. So before we can calculate average, we need to calculate the total. So 4 add 3 add 5 add 4, and that should give us 16. 4 add 4 is 8, add 8 is 16. Now we want to calculate the average. We take the sum, which is 16, and divide it by the number of numbers, which is this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. Alright. 3 marks. I got 1 mark for the average, 1 mark for the total, and 1 mark for having these correct values here. Alright. And that's it for section 2. Alright, so we'll continue in the next video with section 3. Alright, make sure and revise your work.